Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Devils TV. Now, Manchester United lose 6-3 at the Etihad to Manchester City. The game was an absolute embarrassment. United just didn't look like how we've been playing recently, but that was expected. No one really expected us to go and play City off the park today. We knew it was going to be a tough game. We knew City would play us on the back foot and pressure us. And it was just an expected game. Obviously, I said the game would be 3-2. I never expected 6-3. It was an absolute massacre, to be fair, the first half. United fans were obviously left the ground before half-time, which was wrong, I think, because when you think about it, Ten Hag is currently just started his rebuild. United fans can't lose their heads because I've said many times on this channel that there'll be many games like Brentford and many games like Liverpool and Arsenal. United are going through a rebuild, okay? And when we go up against a good team and get absolutely played off the park, you can't drop your heads. We've seen what Ten Hag's done these last few weeks, these last few games, should I say. And he's absolutely changed United. United fans have been excited. We knew this was going to happen. Pretty much everyone said if United win, we'll be very happy, we'll be very jolly. If we draw, it's still a good result. And if we lose, it's expected. So you can't be disappointed with a game like that. Like, we still scored 3 goals at the end of the day. And obviously that happened in the second half, and we'll get onto that in a moment. But I just want to talk about the first half first, because obviously that came first. But when I saw the lineup, I saw that Rodri wasn't in the game, wasn't playing. I saw that Ruben Diaz had been benched. So, and obviously with the injury of Kelvin Phillips and John Stones, United fans, me included, was quite excited because it was a game that I thought that United have a bit more of a chance of. I spoke to a few City fans and they think that they said they were nervous going into this game before they found out Rodri was injured. So it was a big shock to them as well. Now, obviously, City fans are going to go around posting on social media about how they're the best team in Manchester, this and this. And you are at the moment, you really are. But time will come. United will be back on top soon. And United fans need to remember that Ten Hag is doing this rebuild and we've just got to stick with him. But let's just talk about the players first. So, for me at first, I personally think that why do you play Eriksen in this type of game, or Bruno? You don't play 2 creative midfielders in a game like this. And it just made me think that a player like Eriksen was wasted. And that corner for Erling Haaland's first goal, where Eriksen was the one marking Haaland and McTominay was the one marking Gundogan, it made no sense to me because McTominay is about 6'4". He's around Haaland's height. He's around Haaland's strength. So instead of being behind Haaland, McTominay, get in front of him and clear that header before Haaland scores it. Obviously, it went in. Malacia deflected it off the goal line, but it had already gone over the line when Malacia kicked it out. So I think that Erling Haaland was Pep Guardiola's plan. Now, before I say this, it was a plan that has been used and edited and stuff that how City haven't played recently, should I say. So if you watch the highlights back, you see that at least 2 to 3 players are constantly around Haaland. And rightly so, he's the most dangerous striker in the world at the moment. But it allows, don't forget how dangerous City are. City aren't a one-man team in Haaland. They've got great players like Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden. The list goes on. City are a very good team. Just because Haaland's in their team doesn't take the facts away that they've still got world-class players in their team. So when you've got the likes of Martinez, Dalot and Varane all circling around Haaland, it allows a player like Phil Foden, for his second goal, for example, to run alongside Malacia and just score an easy goal. When Haaland made the low cross and Phil Foden had an easy tap in. De Gea couldn't really have done anything on the goals really today. And obviously I'll put my player ratings on the screen in a moment. But when you've got the likes of De Gea who couldn't do anything with any of the goals, you've got the likes of McTominay and I don't know. Yeah, I'd just say really McTominay. Really, no, McTominay, Rashford, and Sancho. I'm going to call out actually, because McTominay, Rashford, and Sancho, seem to have slipped the way they were playing last year. And you know what, I'm going to include Bruno as well. Bruno didn't do naff all either. So, like I said before, with Eriksen being wasted in today's game, you just don't play two creative midfielders in a game like this. I personally would have played Casemiro over McTominay for starters anyway, but obviously Ten Hag wanted to play an informed team who had won the last game, which is rightly so. He's the manager. That's how he's operating this current game in this current club. If you play well, you get your team spot, and if you don't play well, you get benched. Casemiro hasn't had the chance to play well yet, but every time Casemiro has come on, he's made a difference. So I personally think that Casemiro should start the next game no matter what, whether it's the Europa League game or the Everton game next weekend. But I think that a game like this has just shown McTominay is still a very average player. He's stepped up his game 100%. I'm not knocking the guy. But a game like this, where you need to constantly track your runners, is something he's never been able to do. So that's why I call out McTominay for that lack of ability to track his runners. Bruno was just making long, stupid balls, making inaccurate passes. Sancho wasn't getting in behind. He was lazy with his passing. He wasn't pressing Kyle Walker. He got bullied by Kyle Walker. It was an absolute embarrassment performance from Sancho. And Rashford, his passing was poor. I know he's come back from injury. I personally think it was too soon for Rashford to come back. But with Rashford, he just wasn't pressing either. Antony was our only passionate forward, it seemed, and then until Martial came on. So for me, it was just embarrassing that certain players showed their true colours. And I took a lot from this game, that you saw who the real players are, who the real passionate players are about Manchester United. You saw the likes of the lot still trying. You saw Martinez still trying. You saw Antony still trying. You saw players who weren't giving up. Now, I'm also going to talk about Malacia as well. He looks very shaky. He didn't look in form whatsoever. So I don't think he's got an injury. I just think that he knew the what's the word? He knew the what's the word? He knew it's not severity. What's it called? Pretty much, he knew how much this game meant, right? There's a singular word that you can say to describe that, what I've just meant. But he knew that this game meant a lot to United. He knew it meant a lot to Manchester United fans. And I could just tell that he was very shaky, very nervous. You saw with his inaccurate passes, his poor touches. And he had some highlights, not many. But I think that Luke Shaw... he shouldn't have started because Malacia has been the more informed left back. But I don't know why Ten Hag didn't take as many players off when half-time, when the second half started. He only brought on Malacia for Luke Shaw. I would have took off Casemiro. I would have took off McTominay for Casemiro, Martial for Sancho, even Ronaldo for Rashford. I just think that the game was set and stoned after the third goal went in, or second goal went in for City, to be honest, because you saw when the second half started that City were just a complete different team. They weren't as aggressive, they weren't pressing as much, they let United have the ball, and it let United fans to get a bit of hope, and that's where I think we won the second half. It was, obviously we scored 3 goals, they scored 2. But I think United, it was like City have just zoomed down the highway. Let's say they've got there the Lamborghini, they've zoomed down the motorway at 150 miles an hour, and then they're coming off the junction onto the main road and they have to go back down to 30. That's the way it was like. They went out of 5th gear and went down to 2nd, and that's the way it seemed from City. And obviously... United fans obviously left the stadium. United fans were slating players on Twitter. United fans stayed at the Etihad, and a lot of fans probably turned the TV off. A lot of fans kept the TV on, and it just shows that certain fans aren't fully behind this manager. I don't think. I'm not calling out any fan whatsoever, but I just think that you should back this manager because we are going through a rebuild. Now, I want to talk about Antony's goal, because for me, I'm not being biased, it was the goal of the game. The way he cut inside on his left foot and curled it right in, the keeper wasn't saving it. It was a great goal. It was the goal of the game for me, because a lot of City's goals were build-up play, and even though they were very good goals, like, Antony's goal was basically just a moment. That's what raised United players' heads, where they were just like, oh, we've just scored a goal, let's try and get another one and another one and another one. And obviously we scored 3, it ended 6-3, and it was 4-1 when Antony's goal went in. Then City scored another 2 just to remind United about how easy it is for them to score against us. But I still think that United play relatively well in the second half, and like I said, I took a lot of pointers in the second half, and I just think that certain players showed their true character. I want to talk about Noel Maguire. Obviously, he was injured, but when Varane went off injured, I hope it's nothing serious with Varane either, because I've said on my videos before that if Varane or Martinez get injured, it could be a ropey start. And if we've got Maguire and Varane now injured, it looks like it's going to be Dalot. It's going to look like it's going to be Lindelof or Phil Jones or Twenzebe. And obviously, that's a bit annoying, because it'll take a lot out of the team of what Ten Hag's been building. So let's hope that Varane, it's nothing serious. But yeah, with no Maguire, could Maguire have really done anything in this game? I don't think so. I think that when that the first 5 minutes, when City had like 3 shots on target in less than 10 seconds. Maguire, if Maguire was like the likes of Varane or Martinez, who blocked one of the shots, I think Maguire wouldn't have been able to put himself in that good of a position to actually make the block. So you never know. It's like saying, what would your life be like with an extra £1 million? It's not happening. So you just want to be curious about it. So I think that Maguire, injured or not, wouldn't have made any difference to United, is what I'm trying to say. No Ronaldo, he didn't play. So is that Ronaldo leaving in January? Is he just staying for his World Cup spot and then leaving in January? We don't know. I don't know why Ten Hag didn't play him when United first scored. So I don't know what's going on with Ronaldo. I personally think he doesn't suit the system. I personally want him gone. But there's a lot of fans out there who still love Ronaldo. As much I still love Ronaldo. I think he's a great player. But I just think that at 37, he shouldn't be in a league like this. He should be in the French league or the Portuguese league, counting up his numbers and ending his career with a very high tally. The midfield we'll talk about as well. That obviously Scott McTominay wasn't tracking his runners. Eriksen was just wasted. He isn't a player who tracks back either or tracks his runners. So Eriksen defending just wasn't very good. He's not got very good work rate when it comes to... He doesn't have a very good low work rate, is what I'm trying to say about Eriksen. He doesn't have a very good defensive work rate. And Bruno just wasn't in the game at all. I don't think he just wasn't very good. So I would have rather play Eriksen more forward, and I've said that anyway. I personally think that Eriksen should be the number 10 and Bruno should be the number 8, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, apart from that, I'll just let you know my play ratings are going to be somewhere on the screen. And also, I've got one of my mates called Baz. He left me a voice note about how he thought of the game. So I'll let you hear that voice note now.
So, as proven today, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the best right back in the world. And it proves why. Nah, messing. Martial, back with the brace. He's the GOAT. Needs to be starting every week. Hope he can maintain fit. And hopefully it's nothing major to Varane.
Thank you, Baz, for that. So yeah, apart from that, what else can we really talk about? United just got schooled by City, really. We play, who do we play next? We've got the Europa League on Thursday, and then it's Everton at weekend. I personally think that United, well, Ten Hag will drill into his players this week in training that they can't let their heads drop, that they need to, excuse me, that he needs them to, like I said, not drop their heads. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. But he can't let their heads drop when they go 1-0, 2-0, even 3-0 down. Because I think Ten Hag will want his players to not give up. So, apart from that, the game was a 9-goal thriller. It had its good moments, it had its bad moments, and Erling Haaland is just a machine. You can't underestimate City. So yeah, that's today's video. Let me know your thoughts on today's match. And yeah, how would you line up against Everton? Obviously, there'll be a preview about Everton during the week. And yeah, just enjoy. I hope you just enjoyed today's video. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.